It's Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025. A hot day today, but I'm going to take a few minutes out here, share some of this news with you, some of the data. Feel free to comment down below, but let's get right into what's happening. CNBC today, job opening data falls to levels rarely seen since pandemic. Job openings and labor turnover report showed around 7.18 million listings in July. The job market, ladies and gentlemen, is frozen, and many people are reporting that it is very, very difficult to get a job right now, especially a good job. If you're not looking to work in the service sector, fast food, it is difficult to find a good job. Yes, you can find a job, but most of the jobs that are out there now are part-time jobs. They're in leisure and hospitality. They're in fast food. They're jobs that really aren't going anywhere. They're dead-end jobs. Jobs that, many years ago, high school kids worked, college kids worked, retirees worked. Now, a lot of these jobs are careers for many people. But if you're looking for a real job, a good job that you can support yourself or your family with, good luck. It is very, very difficult. If you have a good job right now, do everything in your power not to lose your job. We are going to see massive amounts of layoffs coming for the remainder of this year and into next year. This is a real epidemic, a real problem. Labor market crossed critical threshold for the first time since 2021. There are more unemployed than job openings. This on the Hedge today. What we're witnessing too is a lot of these government jobs have been gotten rid of, and they're disappearing. And I don't know about you, my life has not changed one bit because we don't have these government workers. It hasn't changed at all because these jobs were not essential. And so we're going to see more jobs, government jobs, jobs in corporate America, small business, big business. Everybody is going to be cutting. Hopefully at some point we're going to see real jobs return to America. That may be a pipe dream. We may be past the point of no return. It is not looking good. AI is taking a lot of jobs. You're competing against AI. You're competing against people from all over the world who've come to this nation and they're looking for a job. And, years ago, people said they would never do this. They would never do that for a job, this, that. Amazing what a couple years does. People are looking for anything now to feed themselves, to feed their kids. We have a lot of people in this country that have so much pride and they would never do this or that. These are the people that are going to be, doing whatever they have to do to feed themselves. Because, look, they're going to cut off more government subsidies, more government jobs, and the economy is going to get worse. This is going to be absolutely a historic time, in my opinion, with what we're going to see here in America. And this is just the beginning innings. We got a long way to go in this game. ConocoPhillips to slash 25% of workforce. This is nearly 3,000 jobs, ladies and gentlemen. Employees received an email this morning containing a video message from CEO Ryan Lance. This is how they do it now too. Nobody calls you into the office. Nobody picks up a phone and calls you. No, you get an email or you get a text message, don't come in today, or you get a video message like this one sent to your email, you're done. It's over. Don't come in. You're no longer needed here. Nearly 3,000 people in the blink of an eye today, no job. How are these people going to support themselves? How are they going to make those mortgage payments, those car payments? Don't ask me. I have no idea. I hope that these people have been watching these videos and been putting away an emergency fund. I hope they've been paying off their debt. I hope they did everything to pay off their house. But more than likely, they did not because they thought it would never happen to them. And now the mindset today in 2025 is people know it can happen to them. And you have to be asking yourself right now, what are you doing in case the worst case scenario happens? So many people talk about the crash, the collapse, all this bad news, all the doomsday stuff. But what are we all doing in case it happens to us? What is our insurance policy? What do we have set up right now in case something bad happens to us? In most cases, nothing. People have done absolutely nothing. You know, people can tell you how bad it is till they're blue in the face, but what are you going to do if it happens to you? What is the solution? What is the strategy here? My opinion is have 6 to 12 months of cash reserves put away, get the debts paid off ASAP. ASAP. Tear up the credit cards. Only, you know, I would keep one credit card for emergency only. If I use it, make sure you can pay it off within 30 days. There's just too much temptation for people when they have 20 credit cards. They get into doom spending. They just cannot control themselves. And before you know it, they have, you know, $15,000 in credit card debt at 30%. Stay away from this stuff. You know, one way to never become a drug addict is never, ever try a drug. And I promise you, if you never try a drug, you will never become a drug addict. Simple. If you never want to become a debt slave, never use these credit cards. Never take on debt. Stay away from it. If you can't pay this stuff off instantly or within 30 days, don't even use it. Stay away from it. It's poison. And they are entrapping people, and people now are stuck. And this thing that we're in right now, this collapse, has got a long way to go. Here's another one. Senator Rand Paul blasts Trump's stake in Intel as a step towards socialism. What do you think? I think he's 100% right. I don't like this one bit at all. The administration, as you know, decided to take a 10% stake in Intel. The U.S. government made an $8.9 billion investment now in Intel. The government buying into U.S. companies. Not good. This is, in my opinion, socialism. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. I don't think that it's a good thing to be doing at all. CNBC, gold is at an all-time high. Here's what a Costco bar bought a year ago is worth now. Now, to these people who just 18 months, 2 years ago, said that gold's going to 800, silver's going to 8. That's when you should be buying. Don't listen to JB. He's lying to you. Gold's going to go way down. Yada 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 yada. Well, again, these people are, the same people that said I would never buy a house and move. Saying, just these people just don't get it. I'm reading data. I'm connecting the dots, just like many of you. If you listen to these people who are just haters, who have no preparations, who are absolutely scared out of their minds now because they may be homeless any day now. These are the people that I've been warning for years. And I hope and pray they keep watching these videos, and maybe at some point more of them will wake up. Many of them have actually emailed me and apologized to me, which you owe me no apology. I'm just happy that you're getting prepared and protecting yourselves from what is coming. But so many people now, all they can do is lash out. They lash out at me. They may lash out at you, family members, friends, whoever. They lash out because they're living in fear. They don't know what to do. They're looking at being homeless. They're broke. They're looking at losing a job. Maybe they already lost a job. They're living in mom's basement. Whatever the case may be, these people have been wrong all along. And it's the same people that say, oh, where's the collapse? Where's the collapse? And it's like, where have you been, brother? It's been collapsing for years. Many people wrote yesterday that we crashed in 2008. And I agree. The crash that occurred in 2008, we never recovered from. We just printed tons of money and kept the whole illusion going. And now we're going to pay a severe price for all that money printing, all the inflation that it's caused, and much more inflation is coming, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at what is happening to gold. Gold today up $32 as I make this video. I think it was up a little higher earlier, sitting at $3,572. We are now approaching $3,600 an ounce. Silver up 36 cents as I make this video, $41.39. $41.39 for silver. And you are going to see shortages in silver coming to a town near you, I think, very, very soon. If you have a couple bucks, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you how to spend your money. I'm not a financial advisor. Let me be very, very clear. But if you do not have some of this stuff right now, you've been watching these videos for years. And what have the metals been doing now? They have been absolutely skyrocketing because the debt is due. That it's time to pay the bills. The debt is due, America. And we continue to spend. The inflation problem is not going away. And now we're seeing the dollar being challenged. We're seeing the dollar down today, dollar index down today yet again. And it's not that these metals are getting more expensive. It's just that it's taking more dollars to buy the same amount of metals because the dollar is getting weaker and weaker. If you really truly believe, if you're walking the walk and you believe that the dollar is going to get weaker, you better get some of this stuff right now. You know, otherwise people are going to say the same thing. I can't afford it now. Why weren't you buying silver when it was $18, $17, $20, $25? Now you're waiting till it's $41.39 and climbing. Same thing with gold. People have all these excuses, but I see the baseball games full, the basketball games full, the football games are all full. You know, people have money to gamble on all these games. People are going to the movies. People have their Netflix. People are going out to dinner. People are going to Vegas. People are taking vacations, but yet they're too broke to buy some metal. Hey, that's on you. That's on you. I got rid of all that stuff. I don't do vacations. I don't gamble. I don't booze. I prepare. I'm getting prepared because this is serious, serious business. And we are heading into something that we have never seen before. This is going to be way worse than the Great Depression. America is on a razor's edge now, and it is going to be, I believe, dethroned from the ultimate global power that it once was. It is not going to be, the dollar at some point is not going to be the world reserve currency, and America is just not going to be the most powerful nation on earth. It's going to be the BRICS. It's going to be multiple nations banding together against the United States of America. But getting back to this article on CNBC, if you bought a 1 ounce bar at Costco last September, you paid $2,679. Today, that bar is worth $3,549. Actually, it's worth $3,572 today. According to this, $870. It's actually closer to a $900 increase, over a 33% increase in price from last September to this September for that same bar. So you did over 33%, ladies and gentlemen, just on a bar from Costco. And look, nothing against Costco, but if I were you, I would go to SD Bullion, link down below, because I wouldn't even be, you could buy bars. I prefer coins and rounds. I'd be getting some buffaloes, maple leafs, and some eagles, gold or silver. Those would be my 3 picks. Buffaloes are my favorite. I would say eagles and maple leafs after that. But if you're buying silver or gold, that's what I would be buying. Those 3 right there, gold or silver. And I'm not opposed to bars, but I think it's better to have rounds and coins. I think that they're more recognizable. But again, nothing wrong with bars. If you want bars, buy bars, but I would rather have rounds and coins. SD Bullion, link down below. Very competitive price. You got to be putting real things away right now, ladies and gentlemen. But if you do go to SD Bullion, you just have more options, more choices as far as gold and silver. So check them out. You can call them, tell them Jeremiah sent you. Here's another article today from the Telegraph. And I don't know who would be buying bonds right now, but God bless you. Bond markets show world flirting with disaster. G7 public debt is at an all-time high. Europe is absolutely going bankrupt. The United States is going bankrupt. Global investors becoming skittish about public finances across the globe. Who is going to buy this debt? Who is going to buy these bonds? Who will buy U.S. treasuries? The only entity that will is yours truly, the Fed. I would be very weary of the bond market, ladies and gentlemen. Would you? I mean, honestly, I'd go buy an ounce of gold before I buy a bond. I'd go buy some silver, outperforming this stuff by a long run. And we're just getting started. There's more chaos coming, more uncertainty coming, more war coming, more inflation coming, and more devaluation of the U.S. dollar. Bank of America survey: workers becoming more stressed about finances. Survey shows. They're stressed about their personal debt and financial health. I bet they are. When I go out and I'm in public, I'm at a store, whatever, first one observation I see is just how unhealthy people look. And that's just an observation, not picking on anybody, not judging anybody. Anybody watching this video today could start working out, change your diet up a little bit, go for a walk, do something. You can change today. There's just no excuses. Anybody can do it. You just have to have the willpower to do it. You have to want to do it. But when I go out in public, I cannot believe the obesity epidemic that I'm seeing in the United States of America, how unhealthy this country is. And where does this all go 10, 20 years as these people who are in their teens, 20s, and 30s, as they age, and they're already 80 or 100 pounds plus overweight? What kind of life are they going to have? And they're just cutting their life short, which is really, really sad. They're going to have a miserable life, a very unhealthy life. They're going to be probably loaded with tons of pharmaceuticals just to be able to function somewhat day to day because of the amount of disease they're going to bring onto their body because of obesity. Please, if you're watching this video today, please just start out walking, get to a gym, just take the first step and do something. The hardest thing to do is just take that first step. Get into some kind of class, get into a gym, do something. That your health is so important. You do not want to be unhealthy during this collapse either. You do not know what's coming. We could see blackouts, grids down, whatever. You do not want to be a sitting duck. You do not want to be unhealthy. 85% of consumers are carrying some type of debt. 77% of employees are worried about the economy, and they're worried about their job. There's a lot of stress out there right now, ladies and gentlemen. So, people are doing drugs, or hitting the bottle, or overeating. Just a lot of real negative things are happening. This is the time to do the opposite, go against the grain. This is where you eat better, you train harder, you put down the booze, you put down the drugs, and you live clean. This is the time you turn it up and you grind it out. This is not the time to turn to these crutches. This is the time to be strong, be focused, and grind. That's my opinion. Let me know your thoughts. Comment down below. DailyDoom.com, another deeper dive. The detonator for another 2008 housing crisis has arrived. Now, according to this article, it says 41% of mortgages now held by U.S. banks are ARMs, adjustable rate mortgages. What could possibly go wrong? I don't know if this is true or not, but if it is, this is extremely dangerous. This housing bust could be so big, it could wipe out global banks, and it's going to wipe out a lot of people. It is going to wipe out a massive amount of wealth in this country, because most people's wealth is in their house. And you're going to see, as we're beginning to see now, prices are coming down, equity is starting to disappear slowly but surely, and this is going to accelerate just like it did in '08, except this one's going to be much bigger. And the condition of the average American, or the average American household today versus 2008, is much worse. They're holding way more debt now. Inflation is much higher now. We have multiple wars going on right now. The dollar is under attack. U.S. debt over $37 trillion. The deficit's over $2 trillion. So we are in a much worse predicament now than we were in 2008. And it is going to get really, really ugly. Newsweek, Levi's issues warning over rising anti-Americanism. Now, they're saying that because of what this administration is doing with tariffs, that it is noting the risk of rising anti-Americanism as a consequence to these tariffs. Maybe, possibly. I think I'm seeing more anti-Americanism because of sanctions. Like 9,000 global sanctions, weaponization of the U.S. dollar. That's where I think the real anti-Americanism is coming from. But, I look at Levi's, we're told that's such an American company. It's been around for, ages, over, well over 100 years. But I was looking today, where do they make those jeans at? They used to make them in America many, many years ago. No longer. They make them in Vietnam, they make them in China, they make them in Bangladesh, and they make them in India. So how is this even an American company? How is Levi's even an American company? They don't even make a pair of jeans here in America. So, Levi's, they have over 3,000 stores worldwide. They have, a $6 billion revenue, annual revenue. They're huge, but they're really not an American company. So do we really care what they even say? Let's be real. The anti-Americanism is coming from us sticking our nose in all these countries' businesses, sanctions, taking countries' money, and weaponizing the U.S. dollar, and starting wars that should have never happened. And of course, financing wars to this day that should not be financed. That's why we're seeing all the anti-Americanism. This is why we're seeing the BRICS nations rising up. Another one today. Unstoppable Xi unveil nuclear triad in military parade challenging West alongside Putin and Kim. So over the weekend, there was a big summit in China, big parade. Putin, Kim Jong-un, Modi from India, 10,000 Chinese troops marching, showing off land, air, and sea nuclear arsenals. They are really flexing. And they have a missile called a DF-5. It's a Chinese missile that can strike anywhere on the planet. We have got to wake up, ladies and gentlemen. We are not the superpower we once were 20, 30, 50 years ago. Those days are over. These countries are surpassing us militarily. They're surpassing us with technology, how they can hit our grids with these cyber attacks. Their banking systems now that have a new financial system. Don't forget that China built a railway all the way to Iraq. What's going on, we're not hearing about. These countries are becoming so advanced and so powerful. Biggest armies. You take China, India, Russia, North Korea, they're all nuclear superpowers. All of them have nuclear weapons. China, 4 biggest banks in the world. China holding the most physical gold of any country in the world. Russia holding lots of gold. Biggest oil producer in the world. They're selling oil hand over fist, making tons of money. China, biggest manufacturer in the world. I mean, so much going on. You look at China and India. Just those 2 countries alone make up half the world. Just those 2 countries alone literally make up half the world population. Almost half the world population in those 2 countries. So we better wake up to what's happening, because America, the way I see it, we can't even get tariffs to function in this country. Now we have judges and courts coming in saying that it's illegal. We can't tariff these countries. We have an administration that really can't do anything, because judges now and courts run the United States of America. And China, Russia, India, North Korea, and all the BRICS, they love this, because they're going to continue to eat our lunch. They're getting bigger, stronger, tougher. Russia has eliminated the dollar from its economy. China is making a fortune selling goods to Russia, and Russia's making a fortune selling oil to China. And this is going on across the world. These countries are going to leave America behind. Oh, but we buy all this stuff. They need us to buy all this stuff. Let me remind you, what is there now? About 9 billion people in the world. There's plenty of people and plenty of countries that are going to emerge. And these countries are not going to want these monopoly fake notes called US dollars to purchase physical manufactured items. China, Russia, India, all these countries, they are moving on. And if America doesn't wake up soon, and I don't see it happening, I think we're really, really in big trouble. And we're going to sit here and go, oh, we have the dollar, we have the US dollar. They don't even care. These countries don't fear us anymore. They're not worried about if they have US dollars, if they can use US dollars. They're going to use their own currencies. They're going to use these currencies probably backed by gold. They're going to trade oil. They're going to trade gold. They're going to trade currencies. They're going to trade food. They're going to do everything they can in their power to work around the dollar. And it's working, because you see these countries dumping treasuries and buying gold. And the more they do this, they're going to weaken America financially. They will not even have to go to war with America. They will weaken us financially. Once we don't have that world reserve currency we call the US dollar, America is done. I hate to say that. I don't want to move anywhere. I love this country. I would die for this country. But America is done when America loses the world reserve currency, the US dollar. And they are going to do everything now in their power to make sure that that happens. So comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. A lot happening. You should be very, very concerned for yourself, for your family. We are heading in unknown water here, uncharted water, ladies and gentlemen. And the only thing I can do myself personally is to prepare with food and water, walking close to God, having the tools to protect my family, and having assets like gold and silver that are recognized throughout the world. This is going to be the world reserve currency. It's going to be gold and silver. That is the world reserve currency, always has been the world reserve currency. And whether America likes it or not, the world is going back to the gold. Let me know your thoughts. Comment down below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.